A very warm and gentle welcome to you, dear listener, as you settle into this quiet space we have prepared. It is a kindness you do for yourself, choosing to spend these precious moments with our unfolding story, and for that, we are quietly thankful. This narrative is woven with the softest threads of peace, designed as a gentle companion to guide your thoughts away from the day's hurried pace, to soothe your mind and to help you drift towards a truly restful and restorative sleep. As our tale unfolds, allowing its gentle wonders and calming whispers to embrace you, may you find a deep sense of comfort and ease. Should this quiet journey bring a measure of tranquility to your spirit, and if you feel so inclined just before you let your device rest, perhaps you might consider offering a simple like for this story and subscribing to our channel so that we may continue to share these peaceful pathways with you. Now, let the world outside gently fade and allow the journey inward to begin. Chapter 1. Arrival in the Still Valley. Anya's footsteps on the soft earth made only the slightest sound, a gentle padding that seemed to be absorbed by the quiet embrace of the Valley of Whispering Stones. The air here was immediately different, cooler and cleaner than the air outside, carrying a subtle earthy scent that reminded her of freshly turned soil after a gentle rain, mingled with the faintest whisper of something sweet and wild, like night-blooming flowers she had only read about. Sunlight filtered through the leaves of ancient trees, not in harsh beams, but in soft, diffused pools of golden light that dappled the path ahead, making the shadows seem like welcoming, cool embraces. The path itself was a comfort, wide and meandering, allowing her to walk without hurry. Occasionally, her foot would brush against a smooth gray stone embedded in the earth, worn smooth by countless seasons and the passage of gentle creatures. These stones felt warm to the touch where the sun had kissed them, and cool in the shaded spots, a simple grounding sensation that settled her thoughts. The quiet was profound, not an empty silence, but a silence filled with the gentle sounds of nature, a distant bird call, the rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze, and beneath it all, a low, constant murmur that she couldn't quite place, like a hushed secret the valley held. She followed the path deeper into the valley, the feeling of being enclosed by the gentle, sloping hills, a form of comfort, like being wrapped in a soft blanket. She noticed the first hints of the valley's unique magic, small, translucent crystals growing clusters near the edges of the path, catching the diffused light and refracting it into soft, gentle color, pale blues, soft greens, a faint, rosy blush. They weren't sharp or jagged, but had a rounded, organic look, like frozen dewdrop formed into delicate shapes. Touching one felt cool and smooth against her fingertip, a tiny spark of gentle energy within. A particularly inviting sound drew her towards the center of the valley, the gentle murmur of a stream. It wasn't a rushing torrent, but a slow, deliberate flow over smooth, rounded stones, creating a sound like hushed voices sharing peaceful stories. The water was crystal clear, reflecting the soft sky above and the gentle green of the surrounding moss and plants. She found a quiet spot on a patch of resilient, velvety moss near the bank and settled down, feeling the soft give of the moss beneath her body, a sensation of being cradled and supported. Dipping her hand into the stream, the water was refreshingly cool and surprisingly soft. like liquid silk. The smooth, cool stones on the stream bed were visible beneath the clear water, their shapes softened by the water's flow. Letting the gentle current run over her hand and wrist was incredibly soothing, washing away the remnants of travel and any lingering tension. The constant rhythmic sound of the water flowing over the stones was a natural lullaby, a perfect backdrop for simply being. As the gentle afternoon light began to soften further, casting longer, softer shadows, Anya simply sat and observed. She watched tiny iridescent insects with soft, fluttering wings dance just above the water's surface. She noticed how the light interacted with the crystals, making them seem to pulse with a faint internal glow as the sun lowered. The air grew slightly cooler, carrying the sweet scent more strongly now. The feeling of the soft moss beneath her, the gentle breeze on her skin, the cool water on her hand, all combined to create a sense of deep peace and effortless belonging. With dusk approaching, the valley took on a new, gentle magic. Tiny points of light began to appear among the ancient trees, bioluminescent creatures, not flashing erratically, but blinking with a slow, steady rhythm, like miniature earthbound stars. Each blink felt like a quiet affirmation of the valley's peace. The scent of the sweet flowers intensified, becoming a soft, pervasive fragrance that filled the air with calm. She drew her knees up to her chest, resting her chin on them, and simply watched the gentle dance of the fireflies, each one a tiny moving point of soft, peaceful light. The day ended with a profound sense of quiet contentment. The sounds of the valley softened into a gentle hum. The visual world became a canvas of soft shapes and muted colors, and the air was thick with the comforting scent of night-blooming sweetness and cool earth. The feeling of the soft moss beneath her, the subtle weight of her own body settled into the earth, the gentle breeze against her skin, all combined to wrap her in a cocoon of tranquility, preparing her for a night of deep and restorative rest in the heart of the Valley of Whispering Stones. Chapter 2. The Whispering Stones and Their Color. The morning light in the Valley of Whispering Stones was a soft, pearlescent glow, filtering through the leaves and casting gentle dappled patterns on the mossy ground. Anya woke feeling rested and light, the subtle energy of the valley having worked its quiet magic. She spent the morning exploring further, drawn by the diverse colors of the hope minerals that dotted the landscape. Each cluster seemed to have its own distinct hue, a gentle palette reflecting different shades of quiet joy and peaceful waiting. Some with a soft blue of a clear dawn sky, others the deep, calming green of shaded moss, and some held a faint rosy blush like the inside of a seashell. Approaching a larger formation of stones, worn smooth over time by the wind and rain, Anya noticed the subtle hum she had perceived the day before was more present here. It wasn't a sound heard with the ears, but a vibration felt deep within her chest, a gentle resonance that seemed to emanate from the very core of the stones. She reached out and placed her palm on a particularly large rounded stone, feeling its surface cool and smooth beneath her skin, almost like polished glass, but with an underlying earthiness. The hum intensified slightly under her touch, a gentle, calming vibration that seemed to soothe her very being, a silent conversation between her and the ancient earth. She began to collect small samples of the different colored minerals, choosing only those that seemed to offer themselves willingly, sensing their quiet presence rather than taking forcefully. The weight of each small stone in her palm was surprisingly comforting, a tangible sense of the earth's solid peace. Holding them close, she could discern subtle differences in their scents. The soft blues had a faint, airy quality, the greens a deep, earthy richness, and the rosy ones a delicate sweetness. The variety of textures, too, was fascinating. Some were smooth and cool. Others had a slightly rougher, almost granular feel, each unique. Observing the way the soft morning light interacted with the different colors of the stones was a slow, meditative process. The pale blues seemed to absorb the light, creating a sense of deep, calm space. The greens reflected it gently, making the surrounding foliage appear more vibrant and alive. The rosy stones caught the light in a way that made them seem to glow from within, a soft, warm luminescence. It was a quiet spectacle of light and color, unfolding at its own unhurried pace, inviting nothing but simple observation and quiet appreciation. Sitting by the stream once more, she arranged her collection of stones on the moss beside her, creating a small, colorful pattern. The gentle murmur of the water provided a soothing soundtrack to this simple act. She picked up each stone in turn, feeling its weight, its texture, its subtle scent, and the gentle hum it emitted. It felt like holding tiny pieces of crystallized peace, each one a silent testament to the valley's enduring tranquility. The act of sorting and arranging the stones was calming, a simple, repetitive task that quieted her mind. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves above, and a few soft, colorful petals from an unseen tree drifted down to land among her collection of stones, adding another layer of natural beauty to her arrangement. The air carried the blended sense of damp earth, sweet flowers, and the subtle mineral fragrance, creating a rich, comforting atmosphere. The feeling of the soft moss beneath her hands and knees as she knelt to admire her collection was grounding and peaceful, a direct connection to the earth's calm energy. She spent the rest of the morning simply being present in the valley, walking slowly, observing the quiet interactions between light, stone, and plant life. She noticed how the air felt subtly different in different parts of the valley, cooler near the stream, warmer on sun-drenched patches of moss, and carrying a stronger mineral scent near the larger stone formations. Each sensation was a gentle invitation to notice, to appreciate, and to simply exist without expectation or hurry. The quiet rhythm of her own breathing seemed to fall in sync with the gentle pulse of the valley, a profound sense of harmony settling over her. As the sun reached its gentle peak and began its slow descent, Anya felt a deep sense of nourishment, not from food or drink, but from the sheer peacefulness of the valley, the gentle hum of the stones, the soft sounds of nature, the comforting scents, and the gentle light had created a space where her mind could quiet, her body could relax, and her spirit could simply rest. She knew this was a place where stillness was not an absence, but a powerful, calming presence, and the colors of the hope minerals were its gentle, visible expression. Chapter 3. Discovering the Color of Stillness. Drawn by a profound sense of quietude, Anya ventured into a less explored corner of the valley, where the trees grew closer together and the ground was covered in a deep, velvety moss that seemed to absorb all sound. The air here was exceptionally still, carrying the faint, sweet scent of unseen blossoms more strongly than before, almost like a comforting embrace. Shafts of soft, diffused sunlight pierced the canopy, illuminating small patches of the forest floor in a gentle, ethereal glow. The silence wasn't empty, but felt full of a quiet, waiting energy. Nestled amongst the roots of an ancient tree, she discovered a cluster of minerals unlike any she had encountered before. They were a color she couldn't immediately name, a soft, undefined hue that seemed to be made of captured twilight or the quiet space between breaths. It wasn't a vibrant color, nor a muted one, but something in between, subtle and deeply calming. The minerals were not jagged or crystalline, but had a smooth, rounded, almost organic shape, like pebbles sculpted by slow, patient hands. Their texture was surprisingly smooth and cool to the touch, like polished silk or cool river stone. As she reached out and gently touched one of these unique minerals, a wave of profound stillness washed over her. It wasn't just a lack of noise or movement, but a deep, internal quietude, a complete absence of mental chatter or physical tension. Her shoulders relaxed, her breathing deepened naturally, and her mind felt utterly clear and at peace. It was a sensation of coming home to a place of deep, unshakable calm, a stillness that permeated her entire being. The feeling of the cool, smooth stone against her skin was incredibly grounding, anchoring her in this profound moment of peace. She carefully, almost reverently, gathered a small amount of these stillness minerals, the sensation of their quiet energy a gentle weight in her cupped hands. They felt subtly different from the other hope minerals, radiating a different kind of energy, not the gentle hum of hope, but a profound, silent resonance of peace. The air immediately around the cluster seemed thicker with this tranquil energy, creating a small bubble of perfect calm. The scent emanating from them was faint but distinct, an ethereal fragrance that was both grounding and uplifting, like the scent of clean rain on cool stone. Sitting on the soft moss, holding the stillness minerals, Anya simply allowed herself to be enveloped by the sensation. She closed her eyes and focused on the feeling of the cool, smooth stones in her hands, the gentle weight, the subtle energy. She felt the soft moss beneath her, the gentle breeze on her skin, the faint, sweet scent in the air. With each breath, she felt the stillness deepen, settling into her bones, her muscles, her very spirit. It was a feeling of complete and utter relaxation, a letting go of all the world's complexities. Opening her eyes, she looked at the stillness minerals again. Their color seemed to shift and deepen in the soft, filtered light, revealing subtle variations within the undefined hue. It was a color that seemed to invite the eye to rest, to linger, to simply be. It wasn't a color that demanded attention, but one that gently offered peace. She understood instinctively that this was the heart of the valley's calming magic, a gift of profound stillness held within these unassuming stones. The texture of them, so smooth and cool, was a constant reminder of the calm they held. Carrying her small collection of stillness minerals, Anya made her way back towards her dwelling. The valley seemed even more peaceful now, her perception heightened by the profound calm she had experienced. The sounds of the stream, the rustling leaves, the distant bird calls, all seemed softer, more harmonious. The scents in the air were richer, more comforting. She felt lighter, more at ease, as if a gentle weight she hadn't even realized she was carrying had been lifted. The soft earth beneath her feet felt like a familiar, comforting friend. Arriving back at her simple dwelling, she placed the stillness minerals carefully on a smooth, flat stone near her window where the soft light could illuminate them. The space around them immediately felt quieter, more settled. A profound sense of gratitude filled her for the valley, for its gifts, and for the discovery of this color of stillness. She knew that working with this hue would be a journey of gentle exploration, a way to capture and share the profound peace she had found here, a gentle balm for the weary spirit. Chapter 4. Painting with the New Hue. With a sense of quiet anticipation, Anya prepared to work with the stillness minerals. She had a smooth, cool stone mortar and pestle, worn smooth by years of patient use. Placing a small amount of the stillness mineral into the mortar, she began the process of grinding it into pigment. It was a slow, deliberate task. The soft, rhythmic scraping of the pestle against the stone, a soothing sound that settled her mind and focused her attention. The mineral ground easily, transforming into an incredibly fine powder, lighter than air, with a faint, ethereal scent that was both grounding and uplifting, like the first breath of dawn in a quiet forest. She carefully transferred the powder to a small ceramic dish, its smooth, cool surface a contrast to the powder's delicate texture. Mixing the pigment with clear, pure water from the valley stream was a process of gentle observation. As the water absorbed the powder, the color came to life, a soft, luminous hue that seemed to absorb the surrounding light rather than reflect it. It was a color that seemed to contain infinite depth, like looking into a pool of calm water on a moonless night, and it radiated the same profound stillness she had felt when touching the raw mineral. Her canvas was a piece of smooth, cool wood she had prepared, its grain a subtle, comforting pattern beneath the soft white surface. Choosing a fine, soft brush, she dipped it into the newly mixed pigment. The color adhered beautifully to the brush, a perfect consistency that flowed easily. Her first brush stroke on the smooth, cool wood felt effortless, a gentle movement that left a trail of pure stillness in its wake. The color settled onto the surface, not just lying there, but seemingly becoming a part of the wood itself. Watching the color dry was a meditative experience. As the water evaporated, the stillness hue deepened slightly, becoming richer and more profound. It didn't crack or peel, but dried smoothly, leaving a soft, velvety finish that invited the eye to linger. The air around her workspace felt noticeably calmer, infused with the subtle scent of the pigment and the tangible energy of stillness it radiated. The rhythmic sound of her breathing was the only sound in the quiet dwelling, a gentle companion to the process of creation. She spent the rest of the afternoon painting, not with a specific image in mind, but simply allowing the color to guide her brush. She painted simple shapes, soft curves like rolling hills, gentle lines like falling rain, quiet pools like the valley stream. Each brushstroke was a deliberate act of presence, focusing on the feel of the brush in her hand, the texture of the wood, the subtle shift in the pigment as it dried. The process itself was deeply calming, a form of active meditation that quieted her mind and soothed her spirit. The dwelling filled with a profound sense of peace. The scent of the drying paint, subtle and peaceful, mingled with the natural scents of the wood and the gentle breeze that drifted through the open window. The light in the dwelling seemed softer, filtered through the presence of the stillness color on the wood. Touching the dried paint felt smooth and cool, a tangible reminder of the calm it held. It was a color that resonated deep within her, a visual representation of the peace she had found in the valley. As dusk began to settle, casting long, soft shadows, Anya looked at her finished painting. It was simple, a collection of soft shapes rendered in the stillness hue, but it radiated a powerful sense of calm. The color seemed to draw the eye in, inviting a deep breath and a release of tension. She felt a sense of quiet accomplishment, not for the skill of the painting itself, but for the simple act of translating the valley's gift of stillness into a visible form. The gentle hum from the few stillness minerals she had left nearby was a soft underscore to the quiet beauty of her work. She knew this was only the beginning of her journey with the color of stillness. There was so much more to explore, so many ways this gentle hue could be used to bring peace and tranquility to others. The feeling of the cool wood beneath her fingertips, the soft scent of the dried paint, the subtle presence of the minerals all combined to reinforce the profound sense of peace she had found. A peace now held within the very fabric of her creation. She felt ready to share this gift, gently and quietly, with those who sought a moment of respite in the noisy world. Chapter 5. Sharing the gift of stillness. Anya placed her finished painting, simple yet profound, on a smooth, flat stone just outside her dwelling, where it would be visible to anyone passing through this quiet part of the valley. The morning light, soft and diffused, illuminated the stillness hue, making it seem to glow with an inner calm. The air around the painting immediately felt different, imbued with the peaceful energy that the color radiated, the subtle scent of the dried pigment, a faint ethereal fragrance of peace drifted on the gentle breeze, a silent invitation. Soon, a few travelers making their quiet way through the valley approached. They weren't hurrying, their footsteps soft on the mossy path, their movements unhurried. As they drew closer to Anya's dwelling, they paused, their eyes drawn to the painting. Anya watched from a distance, her presence unobtrusive, simply observing. As the travelers looked at the stillness-colored shapes, a noticeable change came over them. Shoulders that had been slightly hunched began to relax. Facial features softened, and their breathing seemed to deepen naturally. A palpable sense of calm settled around them, a quiet bubble of peace in the already tranquil valley. One traveler, a woman with a kind face, reached out a hand and gently touched the smooth, cool surface of the wooden panel. A soft sigh escaped her lips, not of sadness, but of profound relief. She lingered for a few moments longer, her gaze fixed on the painting, before continuing her journey with a visibly lighter step. Another traveler, an older man with a gentle smile, simply stood before the painting for a long while, his expression serene, before nodding slowly and moving on, leaving behind a sense of quiet contentment. Anya felt a warm glow spread through her chest, a quiet sense of fulfillment. It wasn't the loud, boisterous joy of recognition or praise, but the deep, quiet satisfaction of having shared something truly valuable, the gift of stillness. The simple act of creating with the stillness hue and placing it where others could experience its gentle magic felt like a natural extension of the valley's own giving nature. The scent of the dried paint, subtle and peaceful, seemed to mingle with the morning air, spreading its calming essence outwards. Throughout the day, other travelers paused by the painting. Each one reacted differently, but the underlying effect was the same: a softening, a releasing, a quiet settling into a moment of peace. Some reached out to touch the smooth wood, others simply stood and breathed deeply, while some offered a quiet smile of appreciation. The feeling of the soft moss beneath Anya's feet as she occasionally walked closer to observe was grounding, connecting her to the earth that had provided this gift. The gentle murmur of the stream in the distance was a constant soothing soundtrack to these quiet interactions. As the afternoon sun began its slow descent, casting longer, softer shadows across the valley, Anya sat by the painting, her presence now a quiet part of the scene. She felt the gentle breeze on her skin, carrying the comforting sense of the valley. She listened to the quiet sounds of nature, the soft rustling, the distant bird calls, the low hum of the hope minerals. The stillness-colored painting before her was not just an object, but a focal point for the valley's calming energy, a gentle invitation to all who saw it to breathe deeply and simply be. The smooth, cool texture of the stone she sat on was a constant reminder of the earth's quiet strength. She picked up a small, smooth stone from the ground, warmed by the sun, and rolled it gently between her fingers, feeling its weight and texture. It was a simple, repetitive action that was incredibly calming. She understood now that the true magic wasn't just in the stillness hue itself, but in the intention behind it, the intention to create a moment of peace, a space for rest, a reminder of the profound tranquility that exists in the quiet corners of the world, if only we take the time to notice. The feeling of the warm stone was comforting, a small anchor in the vast, quiet peace of the valley. As dusk once again painted the valley in soft, muted colors, and the bioluminescent fireflies began their gentle dance, Anya felt a deep sense of belonging. She was a part of this peaceful ecosystem, a quiet conduit for its gentle magic. The painting glowed faintly in the fading light, a beacon of stillness in the encroaching night. She knew that even when she was not there, the painting would continue to offer its gift of peace, a silent testament to the mineral scent of untroubled hope that permeated this special valley. The scent of the sweet night flowers filled the air, a gentle promise of rest. With a quiet sigh of contentment, Anya settled down for the night. The sounds of the valley, a gentle lullaby, the scent of the sweet flowers, a comforting embrace, and the presence of the stillness-colored painting, a constant source of profound peace. The feeling of the soft earth beneath her, the gentle warmth of her blanket, and the quiet rhythm of her own breathing settled her into a deep and restful state, ready to welcome the dreams that the Valley of Whispering Stones would surely bring.